Hello, Dr. Tejeda here. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you tips for how to be most successful in public speaking this summer. So the first tip would be to work through the modules, to actually go and click through the weekly module and to click through the information in the order that it's been posted and to stay abreast of the readings, to actually crack the book, to read the content in our book, to check out the sample outlines, to look at video explanations that I've created. I don't have video explanations for everything, but where I do, make sure to listen to those video explanations and to treat this class like you would any other class where you're getting all the information. So that can also prevent you from asking a question that's already been answered. And so to work through the modules would be the first tip. The second tip would be to stay on top of due dates. Now, because it is an online class, you could do your work at 2 in the morning, right? You could do your work early in the morning, right? There is flexibility because we don't meet as a class. But that being said, try to stay on top of due dates, and I'm actually able to work with you if you communicate that you need extra time, or I'm pretty flexible. Just make sure that you communicate, and that being said, you do your best to stay on top of due dates, because those due dates will enable you to have success on your speeches and your assignments. So, for example, I want to know your informative topic before you give your informative speech, and turning in your informative topic on the due date will enable you to work on your outline, which is also due before your speech, and then it'll put you in position to give a better speech, right? And so staying on top of the due dates is also important and a good tip. The next tip I would say is to pay attention to the speech recording rules. So make sure that you are doing the speeches correctly and that you're recording them correctly. And one of the major rules here is, of course, the 9-person audience. You have to have at least 9 people for it to be considered a speech that can be graded for credit. Now, that requirement doesn't come from me. It comes from the Department of Communication at the College of Southern Nevada, and the department decided, as we were taking public speaking online, that this requirement of 9 people would ensure that those taking the class online have the same requirements of those taking this class face-to-face. And so the smallest class that you could possibly have for public speaking to be considered public speaking is about 9, 10. So that is where that requirement comes from. And there's lots of different ways to get that audience. We can work together to get that audience. You can have family and friends and neighbors. So there's different ways that we could be creative to get that audience. That being said, if you feel that it's hard for you to gather those 9 people, it might be good. It's okay to try to take the class another time, to sign up for the class face-to-face, because face-to-face, you have an audience, right? It's the other members of the class. And so that is a requirement that's not negotiable. And again, it comes from above me. And that's what the department requires for each graded speech. And so you have to do that. You have to gather an audience of at least 9 3 times. And so usually people in the class come together, find ways to be audiences for one another. And so there's definitely ways that you can get that done. Also work could, a recreation room at work, people on break. I've seen it all. So there's definitely ways to get those audiences. And then the last tip would be to pay attention to the Common Course questions and to get in the habit of going to the Common Course questions and asking a question or even answering a question if you know the answer. So questions about like class policy, requirements, how to take a quiz, how to do an outline, questions you might have. Go ahead and check that out first. And then if it's not there, go ahead and ask the question publicly because we can all benefit from your question. And then if you know the answer, by all means, go ahead and you could beat me to the answer. And so we can all kind of work together on clarity and making sure that we're all on the same page. And if you answer a question once, it gives everybody an opportunity to get that information. Because chances are, if you're thinking of a question, the other people have that same question, right? So those are tips to be successful in our class, and I think everybody's capable of being the best student that they can possibly be in our course. So really go for it, and that's all I got to say. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you.